The Walt Disney Company is on the hook to buy Hulu from Comcast. Comcast still owns about a third of the business, but the price of Hulu is rising dramatically. Disney thought they could get it for $12 billion with a B. Now it's going up to 20, 25, maybe even 30. And according to a source who has approached us and another source who verified this long ago, Disney may have a plan for Hulu that is unbelievable. Hello and happy day to everyone out there. What a joy it is that you are joining us as we endeavor to explain entertainment and indeed keep you ahead of the culture curve. It is our pleasure to do so each and every day here on the WDW Pro channel. Joining me to have a chat about big stuff that could be coming down the pipe when it comes to Disney and their streaming plans. We have Lauren Connor of ThatParkPlace.com, Jonas J. Campbell, investigative reporter for ThatParkPlace.com, and Tommy Tables, who I guess is starting to become a constant writer for ThatParkPlace.com. It's the TPP crew here today, folks. Welcome back, everybody.
Good to be back.
We're diving straight in.
Constant Gardner was taken.
Folks, as we get into this, if you like content like it, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and click it and stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Yes, just what the title says and the intro relayed to you. We believe at this point now that Disney is indeed determined that once they have fully acquired Hulu, they're going to kill it. They are buying it to kill it. And this comes to us from two sources. One source we've been holding on to for a while now, and we didn't have any way to verify it. Then a second source came forward, and recently, and I'll say this too, after our Disney DEI expose series that we have started and will continue, the floodgates have sort of opened. We are getting so many former and current Disney employees reaching out to us to say that they're having these sorts of experiences or even experiences that we have not yet covered. And so we are bombarded, but we are appreciative and we are working through corroborating some of these stories. But one in particular is this story about Hulu, and we've got some really high level specificity to this. So let me lay out what it is that we're being told, and then we're going to open this up to full on discussion and chat about whether this is the right thing for Disney to do or not. Now, what we're told is that essentially Comcast has had zero influence on Hulu for the past years. Disney is essentially running Hulu, and everyone behind the scenes at these companies knows this is now a Disney product. Disney is going to acquire Hulu. There is no question about it. When things are going through in terms of programming or advertising or whatever you want to think about, infrastructure programming, it is all Disney. And so the interesting thing, though, is that we have been told now by two sources that Disney has no desire or interest in the Hulu brand itself. This purchase essentially comes down completely and totally to Disney wanting those subscribers. And they want the revenue from the subscribers that Hulu has. And Disney's plan then is to simply dump those subscribers into Hulu. Now, folks, we're in rumor territory here. We don't have the documents to show you this. We can't verify it. We can't corroborate it. We're just four guys here chatting about something that could happen. So we don't want to get any trouble, saying this is absolutely 100% going to occur. But we've got sources saying that Disney's plan is to finish this deal with Hulu, roll it into Disney Plus, put it as a blade at the top, and then over time integrate the Hulu programming into Disney Plus in such a way that eventually Hulu disappears and it's just Disney Plus. So let me hand it over to you guys and see what you think. Is the Hulu brand itself valuable to Disney, or is Hulu just basically a repository for subscribers that Disney is paying for?
I don't think this is necessarily surprising. We knew that they were intending to create the blade within Disney Plus. I think it may be a mistake to try and dissolve the brand, because I think that gives you a little bit of differentiation and maybe a little fuzziness when it comes to how you count the subscriber numbers. I'm not real sure, though. It'd be interesting to see what the reaction would be to those subscribers if they felt for some reason that the Hulu brand was dissolved, if for some reason they don't want to be associated with Disney Plus. I don't know if
that's a fantastic point.
Yes, actually, that's exactly where I was going to go too, Lauren. Hulu has the blessing of being a completely neutral brand and being a non-brand as inoffensive as Pluto TV or Tubi. Hulu is just sitting there.
I'm not offended by those things, Jonas. You're right.
Hulu is an open gourd. If we want to go back to the original meaning of the word Hulu, it is nothing, and that is perfect for a repository of aggregated content, which Bob Iger has described Hulu as a content aggregation play, and has clearly stated that Disney Plus is not a content aggregation play. So right now, they have two streaming services that people are paying for. There are people who are paying for one and people who are paying for the other. Merging the services basically says, no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to have people paying for one streaming service. Disney Plus has a non-robust ads platform. Hulu has a robust ads platform, has lots of people who are paying, they're getting more money out of the ad-supported subscribers than they are out of the ad-free subscribers. So everybody out there, when you say, I'm going to cancel my ad-free subscription because I'm one of your biggest customers, I'm paying you all this money. No, here's the secret that you need to know. These companies want you on the ad-supported plans. It gives them more mobility. They can raise the prices on advertisers before they can raise it on the subscribers, and they make more money per user. When you're on these calls and you hear the word ARPU, average revenue per user, they want those numbers up, and they get that from ad-supported users. That's what they want. They want all those Disney Plus subscribers to be ad-supported users, among other things.
We have known that Disney is attempting to get this narrative flipped because Disney Plus has been losing subscribers in sequential quarters now. And if we go into this next earnings call, which is coming up in less than a week, and Disney has 3 repeated drops in Disney Plus numbers, well, you can see how that's a real problem. But Disney, and Tommy, I'm interested in what you think about this. Disney, what they could do here, they've got about 160 million subscribers on Disney Plus. How many of those are in those ultra cheap, Hotstar kind of places? We don't know, but 160 million subscribers, thereabouts. And we know that Hulu has something like 50 million subscribers. By the way, Hulu continues to grow. Disney Plus continues to decline. So if they rolled Hulu into Disney Plus, and if being a subscriber to Hulu was one and the same as being a subscriber to Disney Plus, then that would put them over the 200 million subscriber mark. And that actually puts them into a competitive place with Netflix. Now, they have always wanted to be on the same tier in terms of their size and their influence as Netflix, and they simply have not. Netflix is at something like 230. Now, I think that's really what the play is all about. The amazing thing to me is, I don't know that it's worth the $20 billion or the $25 billion it's going to cost Disney, but I think they're stuck with that anyway. They're going to go to arbitration with Comcast, and they're going to come out paying a whole lot of money for these subscribers. If they're just going to roll it into Disney Plus, the only thing I can think of is that surely this is so they can go to the advertisers and say, we're on par with Netflix. We want that same level of ad spend that you're giving to Netflix for their tiers. What do you think, Tommy?
Well, a couple of things come to mind. The first is, would this really put them up to the level of Netflix? I think it was Lauren who mentioned it just now. How many of those Hulu subscribers are also Disney Plus subscribers? And isn't that just, I would dare say that there's quite a bit of overlap between the two, just
Yes.
as in the case that people who are subscribed to Netflix are also subscribed to Amazon Prime. I myself am like that. So wouldn't this be another way of, in the same way that they've killed physical media for their products, wouldn't this just be actually harming their revenue stream? Merging one account that's paying 2 separate bills of, say, $9.99 a month into just one. So that's the first thing that came to
I
mind.
mean, that's a great reference to the 199ers out there.
The second that sort of came to mind is I think that if this is indeed true, they're going to be watching what happens with X very, very, very closely in terms of, can you take something like Hulu and rebrand it successfully in the same way that can you take something like Twitter and turn it into whatever it is that Elon Musk wants to be turning it into. And then the last sort of thought that I had when you were mentioning this is that I recently bought one of those really fancy Samsung high definition TVs. And on the remote control itself, as part of the physical button layout, and this is one of those minimalist little remote controls, it's white, it's only got like 4 or 5 buttons on it. There's one button that'll automatically take you to Netflix, one that will automatically take you to Amazon Prime, and then one that will automatically take you to Disney Plus. And that does not strike me as a company that it does not have confidence in its product, that they're going out there and physically putting Disney Plus buttons on who knows how many remotes for how many different brands and whatnot. This doesn't, as Lauren said, this doesn't surprise me. I think this was the logical step that everyone is kind of expecting, that the all-enveloping Disney will gobble up Hulu, and Disney wants to kill Hulu. The joke that comes out of that, I think, is, do they want to do it intentionally, or do they want to do it unintentionally in the same way that they killed Star Wars and Marvel and the other franchises that they've absorbed? But I'll leave that for maybe later discussion.
I think the question for me is one of branding. It's like, I could see this making sense if Disney Plus were going really strong and was considered a really strong brand.
Yeah.
Do we have a sense of why they think that it's an advantage to dissolve the Hulu name? Because that does give you some differentiation between their products.
Well, that's true, Lauren, and I don't think that they're interested in right away dissolving it. I think this is a frog in the boiling pot of water kind of idea, where you slowly sort of disintegrate the parts that make Hulu be Hulu, and then eventually it's just gone. The thing I would say is, and everybody give me your opinion on this, I don't know if Disney Plus and Hulu should be viewed as competitors in some way, but if they are competitors, if they are competing for subscribers, then it seems to me that it is in Disney's interest to remove that competitive issue and roll this all into one piece. Now, I could be wrong there. In other words, I'm not making a judgment right now whether this is right or wrong for Disney. I'm open to be persuaded on this as I think through, long-term how this goes. But guys, what do you think? Do they have sort of a competing duality of brands here that needs to be reduced into one?
I'm just going to go back to the same thing I said before. Disney is a brand that has a connotation to it. Hulu is a brand that has no connotation to it, and therefore inoffensive.
Is that good or bad, Jonas?
I think that's good for Hulu. I think that it is a dangerous thing right now for Disney, because Disney in America is associated with traditional family values. They don't have this problem in the rest of the world. And right now, these Burbank people, I'm going to say it, are globalists, and they really like the convenience of being seen as an all-encompassing brand outside of the United States. I think it is a detriment to them, or they view it as a detriment to them, that they are viewed as a family brand in the United States. If you look at the moves that they've made over the last 4 years especially, they don't seem to like that kiddie image very much. Now, there are some executives who made an indication that they like that Hulu is a more mature brand. There were even moves before Chapek was out to make more mature content for Disney Plus. We're all aware that Deadpool 1 and 2 and also the Netflix Marvel series are all on Disney Plus now. So there are moves to try to make it more mature. Outside of the United States, Hulu is Star. Stars is the other company. Star is the singular Disney brand, and it's just a single tile on the far right of everything. And so Disney Plus outside of the United States functions in this way, where it's everything all together. The problem that I see there is I don't want to give my kids access to Disney and Hulu at the same time, because Hulu is also associated. They've been in that premium TV game where they've got Handmaid's Tale and I don't know, other, HBO style content that does not jive well with the Disney brand. If they have effectively killed the idea that you can put your child in front of Disney Plus, okay, yeah, go ahead, merge the streaming services. But
so we've known though, Jonas, since May that they intend to merge the services. I mean, we know that Disney Plus and Hulu programming are going to be combined into a single app. I mean, Bob Iger has said so. We've had this since spring. I think the real news here is that if these sources are right, they don't value the Hulu brand at all. They just value the subs, and they just value the fact that Hulu is more lucrative, and they would like to bring that lucrative, plan that they currently have with Hulu into Disney Plus somehow.
I mean, it's the brand again, and I mean, this could be something that is driven primarily by, I'd like to say, ego. The cynic in me is saying that just because of the fact that right now, Jonas, you're saying that Disney is a family brand and that's what it's known for. And that's true. The cynic in me is saying, are they still considered a family brand with all the scandals and whatnot that have been happening? But be that as it may, Disney Plus is suffering. You guys have been very clear with the numbers. What is it? A cruise ship every quarter, basically, in sunk costs. So it's
800 million loss the last quarter, Tommy.
Right. So, I mean, like it or not, it is tarnishing the Disney brand. And in much the same way that I think Iger is someone who doesn't create or build so much as he likes to acquire, this might be yet another example of him using a pre-existing success as a stepping stone to vault the Disney name up into a higher level of maybe social consciousness. That's the best that I've got right now.
Well, so think about this, and Lauren, I want your thought on it too. Because they're going to merge together, I don't think anybody on this panel believes that you're going to click on Disney Plus Hulu. You're going to click on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And then within Disney Plus, there's going to be a little blade that's Hulu. So we already see the first machinations of this, that they're not interested in Hulu being an equal sort of platform to Disney Plus. It's going to be available within the portal that is Disney Plus. Go ahead, Lauren.
Well, what I was going to say is that's why I think this is so wacky. I think having a separate Hulu blade actually gives them a lot of value because it does allow you to differentiate what you would consider the more family-friendly kiddie content under Disney Plus, and then have a separate section that is for a different age group. And it's not like Disney hasn't done something like that before. They've always had movies that were for adults. They were just done under the Touchstone label.
Right.
And so,
Miramax, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's not like that wasn't done. Now, I don't know if general audiences realized that those studios were owned by Disney, but that was the utility of it. It was another revenue stream that Disney could use while somewhat masking where it was coming from. The advantage of having a separate blade in Hulu is that you could lock it off for access with something like a PIN code if you wanted to restrict access to that. And by having all of those tiers of different content, you appeal to different ages of the audience. Everybody knows that there are all kinds of Disney adults who love to go to the parks and consume Disney content. They're going to be, by and large, engaging with some of the more adult content as well. So why not have that?
So then, Lauren, if I understand you right, what you're saying is that just as Jonas has expressed, Hulu has no meaning. But what it could mean is inside Disney Plus, it means more grown-up, more mature content. And it could be your way of filtering that out. Now, the tricky part about this is, okay, so where does Deadpool go then? Does it go in Hulu or does it go in Marvel? And that's where you get into this tricky, sort of gray area. So I'm not sure exactly what they do with that. But Jonas, how many people that are currently subscribed to Hulu do you think would bail if they have to go through Disney Plus to get to it? Like, is there a chance this actually damages the Hulu subscriber?
I think it does. Hulu right now is actually a really great product for the people that want to watch it. There's a lot of bingeable TV series, which is something that Disney Plus is severely lacking. Of course, there's that robust ads service platform that they have, where all those ad-supported customers are actually making the company a lot of money. The other thing they have is they have a cable replacement tier where you actually have something like a cable service that has ESPN and it has A&E and all those, networks that are big name networks. I think they might be missing like AMC right now. I don't know. I'm a YouTube TV guy, but every now and then it gets close enough in price that I think, maybe I'll switch. So they obviously have that aspect, which would probably need to go away. I think honestly, if I were doing this, I would make Hulu the primary service and make Disney Plus the premium tier. Right?
Can you imagine Bob Iger getting rid of something that has Disney as its main name? And just like Tommy said, I'm with you, Jonas. I agree. But
do it. David Zaslav is probably going to do with Discovery, having Discovery off on its own and having Warner Brothers Discovery, Max, or whatever they're going to call it. They're calling it Max now. I just think that is again a ridiculous and inoffensive name. They can keep Disney Plus separate. They can make Disney Plus a premium tier of Hulu as well, because we've obviously seen that functionality with Prime, where you subscribe to Prime, but also you get these other channels like Max or whatever. Make that, because they aren't making enough content for Disney Plus as it is. It will shut the people up who are logging into Disney Plus to try to see content every Wednesday, and they get 2 Disney Channel series, which are awful, truly awful, even for teenager entertainment. And maybe once every couple of months, a Marvel series. That's where it makes sense. That's where you save your money, because you're not pressed to do something constantly. You can just take your time and make it your Showtime, but clean. If I'm having everything I want here, clean content that is premium content under the Star Wars brand, under the Marvel brand, under the Pixar brand. Fix your problem there. Stop pumping up so much garbage and trying to make a streaming service out of it. Take your time, charge whatever you want, and make it a premium tier of Hulu. Please, Bob, take my advice.
If I can say too, this is something that it's not about the money. If it was about the money, they would just keep things separate. I think it has to do with, pride. It has to do with making or rehabilitating the Disney image. And if they're going to do this, they're going to have to, as you said, Pro, take a while and try to at least clean that Disney image up, because Disney Plus has been losing subscribers. How many of those have left because they just got bored with it, and how many of those have left in protest? And I'm not, naive enough to think that people who are boycotting Disney for, say, their example of Gina Carano, can make that significant of a dent in their subscriber base. But at the same time, I would dare say that quite a few people did cancel their Disney Plus subscriptions because of where Disney is going, because of the increasing, I suppose, partisanship of the senior management, of more awareness of where Disney actually falls along political lines and concerns about the content that they're making. So what will happen then if these people who have no idea that Hulu is, owned by Disney, it suddenly becomes Disney? And would the gut reaction be, oh, well, I've already canceled Disney Plus, I guess I've got to cancel Hulu now as well, or this new Disney thing, I'm not resubscribing to Disney. So they really need to, I think, for this to succeed, they really need to rehabilitate their image a little bit, or at least that's kind of my gut reaction. I mean, in my case, I actually did cancel Disney Plus because I was so frustrated with the last season of The Mandalorian, and I just sort of, even I wrote that in the comments.
I see Lauren agreeing with you on that as well.
Yeah, see, actually, I'm in a weird place where I'm disagreeing with both of you a little bit. I don't think that making Hulu the primary is the smart move. I agree that what they need to do is rehabilitate the Disney brand. I think if you make Hulu the primary, you don't do that. You actually denigrate the Disney brand a little bit. And I think that having Hulu as a separate blade solves some problems for them. It gives them the ability to say, look, we can lock out the material under Hulu under a PIN code if you like. And that way we're keeping our more adult content separate, and you actually have to enter an authorization code to get to it. That allows us to keep Disney Plus family friendly. Also, on the question of what you do.
Okay. So if under your theory or your idea, if Hulu became sort of the more mature content repository, then I would assume then you would also have to pull out some of this content. Like, there's a brand new season of Futurama, rebooted and reborn. How many times has that happened? But Fry and all his friends, Bender, would have to come out of Hulu then, because I don't know that they're mature adult content. They're more like The Simpsons. And I guess they get thrown into everything left from Fox Blade. Like, I don't know where they go.
Well, I think that the better example is the one that was given earlier with the Deadpool movies, and I don't think that's an unsolvable problem. You're asking, okay, where does it go? Does it go in Disney Plus or does it go in Hulu? And the answer is both. If you lock out the Hulu Blade, you can also lock out the Hulu content. So even if it appears in Disney Plus, if you try and access it, it still asks you for the code.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. And maybe it could have a little Hulu sticker on it.
The problem here is that they already have a lockout system that was implemented because of Deadpool, and it allows Disney the authority to decide what is children's content and what is not, which is, I'll say,
Jonas, what does the graphic look like for the adult content on Disney Plus?
It's just not there on the kids platform. You can't access it.
I was hoping there was like a sticker of Mickey Mouse with a profane gesture that would be that's for mommy and daddy only.
Fantastic.
This is when the show gets a little blue.
I think the point is that these are just technical problems, and there's always ways to solve technical problems with good design and a little forethought. I don't think that these are insurmountable problems.
The thing that they could do is to allow actual show or episode level blocking, and that would bring back a lot of people. If I could say, no, I'm going to block Proud Family, I'm going to block I don't know, of course the guy who goes through all the woke content all the time is blanking on what all the shows are. Baymax, that is supposedly aimed at 5-year-olds and has all this weird stuff in it. That is the kind of thing that they need.
You didn't like Baymax going into the girls' bathroom and
forcing his way into the girls' bathroom and
parental
trying to
assistance. Yes, it was a lot.
Exactly.
Well,
that would be something if you could individually go through. But Jonas, if that were the case, I suspect that people would have to come to your channel just to find the hundreds of offensive things that are on Disney Plus that they're unaware of.
I'll give them a list.
So, Tommy, your thought.
God.
Well, there might be an international play to this as well. Hulu is quite big in Japan too, and Japan is. I'm not sure what the numbers are between Hulu and Disney Plus, but I know that Hulu is certainly more well established there, and Hulu is also not available in a lot of other countries, like Canada included. We can't get Hulu up here, but we do get Disney Plus, and so maybe there's something in this using that Disney Plus vehicle as a vector for the additional content we're trying to bring that out to a greater audience and hopefully drive more international numbers perhaps.
Let me add a little context here for that. Outside of the United States, instead of growing Hulu internationally, they decided to go with the Star brand. Because they didn't want to raise the valuation of Hulu before they had to buy it by 1/3 of it. Now, obviously, there's a lawsuit going on between Comcast and Hulu, and this will probably
Comcast is not happy about that. By the way, for you out there listening, Comcast didn't care for that one.
Right, and going back even farther, Hulu Japan is actually not owned by the Walt Disney Company or Comcast. That's owned by a local company to Japan. In fact, there's a little bit of a deal that was just struck between Hulu here and Disney here and Hulu there.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
In order to trade some content. So it's actually a different company in Japan.
So how would this affect them then? Because surely there's branding and there's sharing of some content.
And I'm curious about that shared content. Are they trying to get Japanese content then into the continental United States, or what's the plan there?
Actually, yes, they did just sign a deal to try to get Japanese content into the United States because obviously with the writer strike and the actor strike going on right now, they're starved for content. So they did just enter into some kind of a partnership in order to do some cross-play there. The details of it probably shouldn't enter into this video, but they are working together with
But we should say that if one of our favorite viewers out there, Jack White, is watching, yep, Jack, that's a good one. Guys, I want to wrap this up with a final thought, and if it takes us 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever, it's fine, or if it takes us 5. But this is a very big deal to me if this rumor is true, because this is a heck of a play. Imagine, I mean, Hulu right now, the amount of money that Disney is about to sink into this, we believe is on par with their purchase of Fox. And that was a huge contentious decision that Disney made that, many people believe they overspent. Now we're getting this rumor out, which, when it comes from two people and it's highly specific and you've corroborated their identities and know they should know this, well, that's something. We can't verify it here. But the thing to me that's amazing about this is Disney is talking about, and we assume they're stuck doing this now, for better or worse, spending something like $20 billion, maybe 25, who knows.
Wow.
But if all of this is true, they're spending that kind of money to buy something that they plan to kill. I mean, can you imagine if they had attempted to buy Fox and it had come out before they attempted to acquire Fox and it was like, by the way, they're buying Fox to kill it. They're going to get rid of Fox completely. They just want the properties. In this case, they just want the subscribers. I mean, this is remarkable that you would spend this kind of money if the emphasis is to strike down the thing you're spending $20 billion on.
Well, some could argue that they ended up doing that accidentally to Fox anyways.
What's Fox? Is it like some sort of animal or something? I would just say, this seems like the only play that they have left. Like if they're forced to buy Hulu, as you've pointed out, at the same time,
I don't see a way out. Jonas, do you see a way out of them buying Hulu?
No, absolutely not. I think that Brian Roberts from Comcast wants it to happen. He doesn't like Bob Iger. It puts him in a horrible situation, having to spend tens of $1 billion. When Disney right now, by a lot of accounts, the last earnings call, the report was they had $200 million in free operating cash flow, in free flowing cash there. So the idea
that'll go for fish and loaves, right? That's going to work. Sorry, Tommy, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I thought it was important for the audience to know that Disney is on the hook. And when we say for better or worse, we mean worse here. Like, this is way too much money.
Right.
This is like way too much money.
It's funny that the S&P just upgraded them from a BBB plus to an A minus on the idea that they would to not be so heavily leveraged in the future. I guess they're completely ignoring the $20 billion they're going to have to fork over that they don't have right now, that they're going to have to get it somewhere. They're going to have to sell something big, or they're going to have to take on a whole lot of debt in order to make that purchase.
Well, good grief, Jonas.
That won't get them enough money.
Andrew of Legal Mindset posted a thing the other day, and it was a financial guy on one of these big networks, and he was talking about how the Marvels was going to rescue Disney's box office, and so you should buy. And I was like, these people, they have no idea what they're talking about, and they just go and they spout. They just spout nonsense. But Tommy, you were not spouting nonsense, and we interrupted you. Finish that thought, please, if you can.
I just want to say this strikes me as a Hail Mary, right? Like at this point, Disney as a brand is tainted. It's tarnished. Disney Plus is not a success. And they don't seem to know how to get those numbers back up, how to reinvigorate, how to fix it. If this doesn't do it, like I just have a feeling that Bob Iger is basically like, this is my last kick at the can. This is what if this doesn't work, then I'm out of here. And I just get a feeling that, regardless of the cost, the $20 billion, this is the only play he has left to ensure that future remote controls have that embedded Disney Plus button on them.
I just imagine that there's somebody out there watching this video, and we had many millions of views in July. We're so ecstatic about the growth, and new people are coming on board with this channel every day, and it's an honor. It's a great blessing to have. But I just imagine that there's somebody watching this channel for the very first time, and for the past 30 minutes they've been saying, "Are they saying billion with a B?" How much are they spending to kill this platform? Lauren, we've been talking a lot. I'm going to give you the last word on this, and Lauren will even give you the spotlight there. Lauren, what do you make of all of this craziness? Disney with $20 billion to kill something.
I don't really know what to make of it. I think it's a gutsy move. It's a move that's trying to broadcast confidence, I think. But the other thought that I have is that what we're talking about is a plan, and plans can change. And with the news coming out yesterday that I think it was yesterday that they're bringing back
where you're going with this, yes.
Yeah, they're bringing in I can't think of their names, but the consultants that are coming back under the Disney fold.
Kevin Mayer and Tom Staggs of Candle Media.
Tom Staggs I could think of. I couldn't think of the other gentleman. I'm betting that a lot of that is going to be advising on what do we do here. And so it will be looking at exactly this kind of thing to say, is this what we should be doing? And if not, how do we take this and point it to our best advantage? The only other thought that I have about it is that this may be their way to try and resuscitate the Disney brand, and that if they dissolve that Hulu section in name and they bring on these subscribers such that they have a number that looks like they can be competitive with Netflix.
If they could top 200 million, they'd be real happy, don't you think?
It may let them say during one of these earnings calls in the future, it's like, look, Disney Plus is now successful. See? It's kind of getting there in slightly less than honest ways, but if it gets people off their back, I could understand why they might want to do it.
They would like to get people off their back, that's for sure. The mouse is tired of carrying so much pessimism and criticism, and I'm not sure that it's going to get any better anytime soon. We shall see. They've had some positive moves. That Loki trailer that just came out got the most views ever for a Disney Plus show, so hopefully they can turn around what's going on Disney Plus. They need big shows like that, or else buying Hulu will do them no good if they're just going to merge it into a platform that people have no interest in going to watch what they have. All right, gentlemen, I think everybody knows where to find all of you. It's thatparkplace.com. We have just redesigned the site. We are featuring now your favorite personalities every single day with embedded YouTube videos. Check out their latest content, as well as big articles over there on the website. Jonas, you also are going to be part of an ongoing series, which is becoming even more and more on this channel because more people are reaching out to us about the DEI situation over at Disney. That's very exciting. But Jonas, you also have a YouTube channel. Where can people find you on that one?
Over on the Jonas J. Campbell YouTube channel, where I talk about everything woke that goes into all of this Disney content. And also, by the way, there's some Hulu-based children's content on there, lest we forget that the entire organization has been found lacking. Exactly.
And Lauren, of course, has a YouTube channel as well. All of these videos and descriptions, well, they're all linked in the description down below this video, if I can articulate that well. All right, folks. Clearly, I have run out of juice, but you are just beginning. Drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think about all of this. We covet your comments. We care about what you think. And if you liked this conversation, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe. And indeed, when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. The Pro Show is live Thursdays, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And the Pro Show for this week, well, we are hosting a Daily Wire personality over there. Come on and check it out. See how we do. We're excited to have bigger and bigger guests each and every week, although let me say that the guests we had before, they are just as big as you can possibly find. We disparage no one. We only have the very best and brightest on the channel each and every time. Folks, we consider you the best and brightest as well. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Say it ain't so. This just in. Disney lost money on another movie. Why, that can't be. I thought that John Lasseter fella over at Pixar was cranking out the latest hits, and Marvel was unstoppable, and Disney princesses were a thing, and Star Wars was a multi-billion-dollar money-making franchise. I overheard you talking about Disney, and wanted to let you know you're really behind the ball. If you were getting great articles from thatparkplace.com and subscribe to WDW Pro's YouTube channel, you'd actually be ahead of the culture curve and have entertainment explained.